All right, so I did my letter over Second Corinthians, and here's my presentation. So the critical issues, so the authorship, so the letter is said to be Paul's work, but I don't have any reason that it wouldn't be. So because of his defense of his apostleship, which he was an extreme apostle of Christ, and delivered a lot of really well spoken messages to people around the world. His theological alignment with other letters of his, they almost perfectly align with his style of writing and preaching. So that's another reason why it's most likely his, if not for sure his. And his deep emotions, which he expressed throughout his messages. The dating was around AD 55 or 56. It was located, most likely written on the road back to Corinth from Macedonia, so this is probably right after First Corinthians was written in by Paul. The occasion / reason for Paul writing this. So Paul writes to defend his own apostleship and to respond to critics questioning his works and doings, which was a big thing for him because obviously he was martyred for it. And then the background, which Corinth was a town not of Christ-like doing and struggling with division in the church. Some of the major themes are strength or weakness, reconciliation and forgiveness, and dedicated apostleship. Obviously, apostleship, Paul is one of the top examples for apostleship, as he delivered a lot of really cool messages and is the author of a few books in the Bible that show those examples really well. And then reconciliation and forgiveness. So obviously a lot of the people in the world did not agree with Christ or his apostles and people who spread the word of him. So we had to forgive them and for not treating them the way they should be treated. And then the strength or weakness. So obviously that's you can kind of take that however you want to, but weakness can be your strength through that, because I think I say it in the next slide. So I think I'll go to the next slide and help you with that. Yeah, embracing application to modern life and then embracing weakness. So although we as Christians fail more than we succeed in most things, Paul shows us that weakness is not a sign of failure, but that of a true Christian's life. And that by Gorman calls it living in cruciform pattern, which is being shaped by the cross Jesus died on. So basically the sufferings we go through shape us, and then they can basically become our strengths. And then the application continued. It would be agents of reconciliation. As Christians, we are called to bridge, quote, bridge divides, and to reflect the grace of God in all aspects, which by Gorman is called, quote, becoming the gospel. So Paul going back and forth in the road to Corinth and all that, and preaching in Corinth, because Corinth was a divided city in the church and divided in a lot more things other than that, but most importantly in the church. So he basically bridged the divide and attempted to connect it back and make the church whole again. And then the last one on application and continued is generosity and gospel living. So Paul connects giving to those in need closely to Christ's very own giving of his life for all people to defeat sin and death forever, which this also connects to becoming the gospel, quote, becoming the gospel, as Gorman said, by carrying out generosity and giving to those who need more than we do. That's pretty self-explanatory if you think about it closely, because Jesus gave the ultimate sacrifice more than anything that we could ever do to be even close to that, because just the everyday generosity that we could give to people is nothing more of that of the ultimate sacrifice that Jesus gave us to defeat sin and death forever. And there's my references, and that's it.